You're listening to The Inner Strength Show. If you want to step into your greatness, you've come to the right place. Here is your host, the human strength expert, Kyle Newell.
What's up, guys? It's Kyle, back with another episode of Unlocking Your Inner Strength. This is show number 4, and so far I've been having a blast recording these. These have been kind of like a dream come true for me. The show itself represents the whole premise of what I want to share with the world, and that's kind of being okay with fear and being okay with the fact that people are going to reject your message, and almost that you should expect that. You cannot please everybody, okay? And my whole mission in life has been to inspire other people to transform their lives, which is powerful. So even if this show can inspire one other person to find their true calling and to find their path in life, then it's been a true success for me. And I'm super excited about it. Again, I just want to thank you because I know this isn't polished yet, this isn't perfect, and it's a work in progress, but you can't let that stop you. Within, unlocking your inner strength, what we're trying to get after, guys, is finding your 3 Fs, your freedom, your fun, and your fulfillment, and realizing that you have, you're on a journey here of self-acceptance and significance and becoming one with your art. All the stuff we've been discussing in the prior episodes has been about various experiences or stories from my life, and today's episode is going to be no different. It's about the toughest decision I ever had to make in my life, and that decision was when I finally resigned from my full-time teaching gig, which was just very crazy how it happened. I loved teaching. I loved the age level. It was kindergarten to 4th grade. I was a phys ed teacher, and I could have been very comfortable and content for the rest of my life staying with that role. As we dive deeper into this, you're going to see why it was the toughest decision of my life. There's going to be, various lessons and things that you'll be able to take from my story to use in your own life and to expect when you make big, scary decisions. Okay, big, scary decisions usually keep people from progressing or moving forward, and that's what keeps the tire kickers out. If you really want something, you're going to have to go through those periods of time and those pain points. There's no way around that. Anything that comes too easily in life isn't really worth having. So let me give you a little background story of how I came to the decision when I came to the decision. So it was 2012, and I was teaching full-time. I loved my job. And I had also started Newell Strength my first year of teaching in 2006, 2007. At the end of the school year in 2012, my body just started kind of revolting against me. I'd got a really, really bad case of pneumonia. I'd never experienced that before. Truth be told, I did not take it as serious as I should have, but that was rough. I was out of school for a whole week. You couldn't even touch my skin. I was just burning up. I was in so much pain. I remember just, running my hand over my head, and the little bit of hair that I had left was just so painful to touch. And, went through about a week, rebounded pretty quick. I've always had a pretty quick healing response in my body, a very good immune system. I rarely ever get sick. That's why that was unusual. And that was April of 2012. Again, I didn't take it serious. I didn't even realize that people die from pneumonia all the time. That, it was just something that I was naive about. So fast forward a couple weeks, me and Devin went away for spring break down to see my aunt and uncle in South Carolina. And we come back, and that week we come back, I decided I was good to go to play in my men's basketball league. It was a late night game, let's say, I would think it was a 9:30 game. And we were playing our rival team. I think the team that we had played in the championship the prior 2 seasons. It's ironic because it was one of my students' fathers that was on the other team, and he was on a fast break. And the way I play, I try to go hard all the time. I was sprinting after him to go down the court. Next thing I knew, my knee was up in my lateral side of my left quad. I ruptured my patellar tendons. It split literally in 4 pieces and about 5 other ligaments. But that's a story for a different episode. That led me to realize, man, I am doing something wrong. I am not resting. My body is really revolting and sending me the message that I have to stop. So needless to say, the last 2.5 months of school in 2012, I missed. I was in a wheelchair. When you rupture a patellar tendon, you got to keep it locked and immobilized for 6 weeks. It's unlike any other injury, sports injury that you can have. So the following fall, I went out to a mastermind group in Arizona, Tempe, Arizona, with people I never saw again in my life. It was not anything to do with strength or fitness or anything of that nature. I had met the fellow who runs it at a Dan Kennedy seminar down in Atlanta, Georgia. And he said, why don't you come out to my mastermind? So his name is Dave Freese, real good dude. I went out there, and it was on one of the breaks that this girl came up to me that I never saw again in my life. And she said, you have to stop teaching. And I kind of looked at her. I said, what are you talking about? She said, it's holding you back. You got so much more to give with the other path that you're on, but you're not doing it because the teaching is holding you back and you're in a comfort zone. So again, it was close to the mid to late October. Flew home. First conversation I had with Devin on the ride back from the airport was about that, about when is the right time to stop teaching. We both knew it was going to happen sooner or later. I was about 7.5 years into my teaching career, and I still had the mindset of, okay, let me get locked into the pension system, and then we can discuss that. The pension system, though, was still about 2.5 years away. Devin, being Devin, says, yeah, she's right. You got to stop. And I guess part of me was hoping Devin would say, no, you got to keep teaching. We need the income, blah, blah, blah. Play it safe. But Devin's not like that. So we just, kept kicking it around. I talked to some key people. I talked to my principal. I actually broke down in tears when I told him what I was thinking. And I decided to hand in my letter of resignation. It was either October 26th or 27th. It was a Friday afternoon. I sent it to the superintendent, and I remember just being terrified because, I didn't know what was going on. I was changing. Remember, the deeper parts of our brain do not like change. The resistance that showed up was Hurricane Sandy. Hurricane Sandy hit that Sunday, ripped the roof off the current gym, destroyed the gym. And here I am realizing, okay, I only have 2 more months left of my teaching career. Letter of resignation was already handed in. I didn't know what I was doing, even what building the gym was going to be in. So I was scared, okay? I was definitely scared, and I loved the kids. I still had to finish out all the way up to Christmas time with my teaching gig. And I remember the 3rd graders tried to get a petition going to keep me to stay. And, they didn't quite understand what was actually happening. And one of the things I always taught all my students at the beginning of the school year was I would say, okay, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I said, really think about it, but don't tell me what you think I want to hear. What do you really want to be? And they would, baseball player, blah, 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 astronaut. And I would always tell them, okay, if anybody ever tells you in your life that you can't do that, then you walk away from them because they're giving you the wrong advice. So when the students started this petition, I pulled the key culprits, we'll call them, who were some of my favorite students, aside. I said, guys, I can't come back. I said, you don't understand how it works, but what is the number one lesson I always try to teach you guys in class? And they knew. They said it was to always follow your dreams and always follow your heart. And I said, exactly. And this is the best way I know how to teach you that, is to live that, not just tell you that. So you can see that what I was saying was real. And you could just see the light bulb go on in their head. Everything became clear, and they got it. And I hope that lesson always stays with them for the rest of their life. And another key thing along this process when I was going to resign from teaching was to get over this fear. I had this safety net. I had this golden parachute. Being a phys ed teacher was a great gig. Could retire with a pension, all these perks. You could be done teaching by 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Summer's off. It was awesome. And especially knowing that I was in a good situation with people that I really, really liked, my principal and my co-teachers and just the friends and the students. And I became friends with the students' families. And it was really just a special place and time in my life. But I was really struggling with getting around this fear. And then I read something in a book, and I believe it was a Tim Ferriss book, that made something in my head click that, look, even if this doesn't work, you're not going to sit in the corner and starve to death. You have a skill set. You're going to survive. You're still going to be in the game. You're not going to die if this doesn't fail, but you got to try it, because one day I always pictured my kids are going to say to me, Dad, you tell us to go after our dreams and to do what we want to do, but why should we listen to you? Because you didn't do it. And I said, no, that's not going to be me. I'm going to live my dreams, and I'm going to go after them. And, I always thought that was the best way to lead, was by example. So the bottom line with that is that the fear is an illusion. It doesn't actually exist. Most of the time today, guys, fear is not life or death. It's a perception of the brain, okay? And that's why I love doing the mind map stuff, which, again, we'll do a whole bunch of different episodes on, because that's just awesome stuff, and it's too much to cover right here. To circle back, know that when you make these big, scary decisions, resistance will show up. And for me, it was Hurricane Sandy literally hitting 36 hours after I handed in my letter of resignation, a once in a 500-year type of storm. And I was the only building in the whole complex where the roof actually came off the building. So try to get your head around that. That was nuts. And I was just scared. But it actually led to us being in the current spot of Newell Strength, because as I was looking for a new spot to move to, they moved me into the same size unit, which was 1,500 square feet. But I said, Rob, who's my leasing agent, show me something, what else you got? And we kept checking out the current spot, 3,000 square feet. And I brought my father-in-law with me one day to look at it. And again, I was kind of hoping he'd say, no, play it safe, stay small. And he looked at me and said, you stopped teaching for a reason. Go big or go home. And I always remember that moment. And, I signed on the dotted line, and the rest is history, as they say. So that's my story about breaking free from the golden handcuffs. And if you find yourself wearing those golden handcuffs, okay, with this false life, so to say, this life that you, yes, can be comfortable in, but do you want to look back and just say, oh, I lived a comfortable life? No, that's stupid. You want to have your body and everything just worn out and used and abused, not in a bad way, but knowing that you gave it all and there's nothing left to give. It's like a great athlete. When they stop, they want to be able to say, man, I had nothing left. Like Kobe Bryant ran out of gas, but he's going to have no regrets. He's not going to think I didn't give it all or I stopped too early. Those are the lessons to take away from that, and know that it's going to be okay if you think or have a thought in your head that you want to break away from what you're currently doing to pursue something that you love. And as a kind of a little extra here, I built Newell Strength while I was teaching. So I didn't just have no plan, or I built it slowly. So you can start building something today, but know, okay, that in the future, what it's going to lead to, and kind of have a date in your head of what's coming. That's the lesson for today, guys. And next episode, I kind of mentioned in this one about my knee injury, my first knee injury, and we'll talk about that, why I say my first knee injury in the next episode. But when I ruptured my left patella tendon, I had one of the most rare knee injuries that one could have, and it was the most severe knee injury my surgeon, who's a world-class knee surgeon, had ever seen. I was scared. I was a beaten man, and I was broken down, and I was in tears in the hospital that night because I didn't know what to expect and what was to come. And we're going to talk about how clarity is key in your life, about having some idea of what's coming your way and some prediction in response patterns. Stay tuned for that. It's a pretty gruesome story, but I took that injury and I literally turned it into so many positives. I've been able to help people all over the world. I wrote a book that sold over, I don't even know how many copies, but it's just been an awesome ride. It turned me into a better person. It made me dig deep. So we're going to be talking about all that in the next episode number 5. And in closing, guys, +1 yourself. I want you to keep moving. Every time you listen to me, I want you to know that I am the voice that's going to keep moving you forward. I'm going to fill your sails of success, and I'm going to keep guiding you down that path, and hopefully I'm going to be able to inspire you to keep going. So what's the +1 thing you can do between now and next week's show to move the chains forward? And I would love to hear what you've done, and I would love to hear if I can help you. That's what I'm here for. That's my whole mission in life, is to inspire other people to greatness. Realize that when you're trying to move forward in life, your environments that you're in on a daily basis, whether that's your home environment, your internal environment, which is your mindset, your work environment, your environments can either propel you forward or hold you back by putting you into a threat mode. Environments can be very threatening to the brain. Again, that's another topic for one of our mind map episodes, which will be coming up within the next month or two. But check your environment, know where you do your best work, know who you feel the best around, and watch the thoughts that come into your head. Okay, the first step is always self-awareness. So I really appreciate you listening today. This has been a blast so far. I'm going to be back with episode 5 about the knee that blew up. And please share and spread the word if you've been liking this, guys. I've been really loving it, and thank you from the bottom of my heart. Peace.
You've been listening to The Inner Strength Show. If you enjoyed the show, remember to subscribe, rate, and review us in iTunes.